Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leonmaster'S. Welcome back to another Overwatch League video, and we're on to the power rankings video. We're here, final day of the off season, I think. I'm going to try and upload it before the Overwatch League starts. And we are here. I'm on my power rankings. It's crazy now ever since changes have happened. We have scrim bucks as well. I'm trying to find like an in-between of what I want to do here. Like, majority of it's going to be what I think is going to happen, my opinion, no scrim bucks. Then I look at a lot of other reliable people. Like, I'm looking at theirs and I'm like, maybe I should probably put some of that in mine. But it's still my opinion, still what I think may be the case. But obviously, it's going to be completely different. As soon as the season starts, everything's going to happen. So I'm not going to do all of them at once. Not going to do all 20. I'm going to do separate NA and APAC, Western, Eastern. I'm going to do that. I feel like it makes a little bit more sense because those are the people who are competing against each other. Like Western, they're all going to go against each other. Eastern, they're all going to go against each other as well. Not all of them together, kind of like, you know, season 1 and 2 was, where they were all playing together. So I'm splitting it up. I know at some points they'll be playing together, but those are occasional. So let's go ahead and start off with the Eastern power rankings. I feel a little bit more comfortable with these before I go into my Western power rankings. So to start it off, number 8 is going to be the obvious LA Valiant. I mean, the roster came together last second. It's not a good roster. It's not going to last long. You look at this team, it's just a lot of random. It's just a lot of random. You know, you have Hybe, who was an off-tank player, now a support player. NVM, who retired in 2018, coming into now. And some of these other players that have not really proved themselves, except for like Crystal maybe coming in. And the coaching is just... So I don't really expect LA Valiant to get that far in the APAC unless something happens. There is a rumor right now where LA Valiant actually isn't the worst team in Eastern region right now, so I love to see what happens there. Anything can happen. At number 7, it's going to be the Guangzhou Charge. The thing about this team is that compared to other teams in the APAC region, the Eastern region, they did not make a lot of moves compared to other teams. And that's where I kind of put them a little bit lower also in their most recent showing in the tournament. They still look good in that tournament. Keep this in mind, APAC region is stacked this year, obviously, except for LA Valiant on the side. But Guangzhou Charge, all the teams above them, it was very hard to rank, but I still feel confident in this list. So when you look at Guangzhou Charge, it's still have the same sort of, you have Eileen, you have Choi Sawan, Mai Kaylee. I know Mai Kaylee and Choi Sawan are new, so we'll probably see Choi Sawan and Eileen be the starting DPS duo. You have the new main tank Jihoon come in, he'll probably play occasionally. You have Rio and Krong, nothing different there. They're a solid tank duo. Kariv and Mandu, completely new though. So things are good there, I feel like. The roster seems solid, but will it work out well? Maybe. The new head coach came in with Arachne, who was on the Shock. He did a good job there, and he'll probably do a good job here because he was a head coach previously before he was on the Shock, actually. So things could be different here on the Guangzhou Charge. Now to number 6, it is the Hangzhou Spark. This is also a team I don't know if it will perform coming through. They have a lot of players on their team. We've seen time and time again, 12-player rosters don't really actually work out that well unless you do it well. There's been like 1 or 2 teams that actually done a really good job of 12-man rosters. Now, will Hangzhou Spark do it? No clue. Don't know. But I have a feeling, my gut's telling me no. My gut's always been right when it comes to the Overwatch League. So I'm going to say no. I don't think it'll work out that well. I wouldn't be surprised if they released a lot of players in the middle of the season, near the end of the season. You look at this roster, there's still some good parts here. Some interesting signings. Bernard's a fantastic signing. There is some pickups here that will help the Spark. But I really don't see Spark being a dominant force in the APAC region. Now to number 5, it is the Chengdu Hunters. Now this team made a lot of moves and a lot of upgrades, and I hope they do come through. Mainly the big one, like I say every time, is Gaga. They needed a main tank player for a hot minute now. They have Gaga, who is a fantastic main tank player coming in. They have Kaneki. They have Faraway 1987 or Monk, whoever get the starting time. Don't know yet. There's rumors about that going around in the scrims. But they made fantastic upgrades on this team, so I think they actually will probably do better than the Charge. But Spark, don't know about that one just yet, but I'm a little bit more confident in Hunters doing way better than the teams below them. Then on to number 4, it is the New York Excelsior. Now this team, a lot of people kind of underrate. I think this team is going to do a fantastic job in the Eastern region. They've done a good job with their DPS line, their tank line solid, the support line, I still don't know that much about just yet because it has Friday on this team. But you look at these DPS players, it's Ivy, Guangbong, probably going to be the most dominant DPS duo on this team. Flora, Feather, still fantastic DPS players. Yakpeng, who has improved a lot since his Toronto Defiant days. And Bianca, who has always been a top off-tank in my opinion for years. And now he's going to be playing starting as well for the NYXL. And you look at the support duo, Jonak's still there. He's still fantastic of a player. And you also have Friday, who's apparently proved himself in scrims according to people like Yiska. So I think NYXL is going to do a fantastic job. A lot of people still may doubt him. I get that. But when you look at their coaching staff, hasn't changed a lot. Just people have switched around roles, which could be a good thing. Now to number 3, it is the Seoul Dynasty. And this team, it was very hard to rank. I think a lot of people probably had a hard time ranking Seoul Dynasty. This team has been super inconsistent for years now. Years they have been so inconsistent. And now they made changes, and they may have been fantastic changes. We don't know that yet. So big one, releasing Toby. They have now signed Animo coming in for the main support role. He could fit this team. I think he is going to fit this team. My gut's telling me he's going to fit this team really well. Then you look at Sabiobi. I think he'll probably play occasionally. I'm not really having my eye on Sabiobi a lot when it comes to this roster. Then you have the fantastic promotion, which is 2U, which is just a fantastic thing for this team. They never had an off-tank player all last year. Kind of was a problem here and there. I mean, they got second place, so maybe it wasn't. But they had no off-tank, and now they have 2U coming in, playing the off-tank, hopefully full-time. They still have Marvel. They still have Gesture. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it back like they did last year. Hopefully they don't, because they could easily do way better this season just with 2U on this roster. Maybe Anmo could bring something here and there. But that's all really it is with Seoul Dynasty. It's just like a flip of a coin. We don't know if they're going to be bad this year. We don't know if they're going to be fantastic this year. But I went with 3. I feel like it's kind of right. You know, don't know if they'll be top tier. Don't know if they'll be bottom tier. Keep them right there. I don't know. This team's confusing. Now, on the number 2, I know a lot of people doubt this team for some reason, but number 2 is Philadelphia Fusion. I still think this team is fantastic, even though if the changes they have done, you still have Carpe. You have Rascal now. It's going to be a fantastic DPS duo. You have Mono. Could be a great main tank on this team. You have Poco still if he'll get the playtime. You have Hoppa, which, okay. Mono, Hoppa didn't really perform that well last year in NYXL. I get that. You have Toby now. Funny Astro. Toby may get the starting time because of the whole Funny Astro visa issues. Understand that. Toby could play. Fantastic. You have Alarm still. Alarm still maybe one of the best, if not the best, flex sport in the league right now. You still have these fantastic players of Carpe, Rascal, Alarm, Toby, Mono still, even if he didn't perform the highest as people expected last year. So they still have these fantastic players. And also on top of this, 9K, who has been a fantastic coach for years on the Shock, the Paris Eternal, and now he's being the head coach on Philadelphia Fusion. Now, is he probably going to do KDG performances? I feel like KDG and 9K may end up bringing the same results to this team. I don't know. 9K was fantastic, though, as we have heard from San Francisco Shock. And on top of that, with Paris Eternal last year, I'm very interested. I still think this team's going to be top tier just with the DPS duo and also the support duo coming in mind, but they still have players like EQ on the bench, Shockwave on the bench, Funny Astro on the bench, Poco on the bench, and whenever all those visa issues are done, they're gonna be good still. So I think Philadelphia Fusion is still gonna be top tier. Then on to number 1. Okay, nothing much has changed here. The only thing that's changed is that they have Fate now, which isn't that big of a deal. Fate already looked top tier in the Nexus Cup with Shanghai Dragons. He looked just as good as Fearless. He could even be better than Fearless, being coached on the moon for a hot minute now, with Scrims being probably for months now, being full-time starting, playing this fantastic team around him with Void, Lee Shagon, Fleta, Izayaki, Erster, Diem, Mob. Oh my. This team is too good. This team is too good. I can't. Is this team going to doubt? Is this team right here, is this team going to do bad? I hope not. I hope it doesn't. On to the Western power rankings now. The NA power rankings. This one was difficult because things are changing. There's scrimbucks saying teams are better than other teams we didn't expect. There's issues with the Dallas Fuel losing XZ. Big L for this team. They may sign a hit scan DPS maybe today when I upload this video. I wouldn't be surprised. Nene's still out there. I love to see Nene on this team. Anything can happen to the Dallas Fuel, but they are taking a massive L, losing XZ. And who knows, maybe that was a reason why Dallas Fuel is not actually doing that well in scrims. From what we've heard in the past, maybe that's the reason why XZ already playing this for a hot minute now. He wasn't in scrims, but maybe he was in scrims and he kind of left the day before the retirement came out. So Dallas Fuel, going to be weird. But anyways, let's jump right into it. And number 12, as much as it hurts for me to put this team here, is the Vancouver Titans. I am a Vancouver Titans believer. I wanted to put them above Paris Eternal, but I took a look at Paris Eternal once again. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I want Vancouver Titans to do well this year. I do, because they made fantastic additions, I feel like. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of additions, but they made good ones where you have Dalton playing hit scan now. You have Teru, who's going to be a fantastic flex DPS player from what we've heard. We have Shredlock, who was always, I felt like, a solid main tank that has potential. Fried, who was a fantastic off tank in Season 2. Fire, who was one of the best, if not the best main support when he was in Contenders on Team Envy. You have Linkser. I mean, he'll play occasionally. He'll have some time. And Rolf, which my opinion still stands out there, that he may be the worst player in the league, even though I know a lot of people are going to comment why I'm the worst player in the league because I look like Rolf for some reason. I don't really look like Rolf, do I? But another thing, Flubby has always been a good head coach in Contenders, so I still kind of like Flubby as the head coach here. Now to number 11, it is going to be Paris Eternal. This team, there's some potential here. I will say this team could easily come out swinging. They have some fantastic players here like Onigod, Naga, Dasunas, he's already proved himself. Khan, fantastic flex sport player. Neptuno, Overwatch League veteran, been here since Season 1. Dan, still don't know how to say his name. And then you have Elivolt, who is, time and time again, he's looked solid in Contenders and the Washington Justice, so things could be different here this time. Then look at the coaching staff, get amazed. He has some results. JMac, fantastic coach from what we've already seen with his coaching experience so far. Already brought results in for Dark Mode, and Avala has done a fantastic job building this team. So when it comes to Paris Eternal, it's going to be rough for them, but I can easily see them not being this low. Now on the number 10, another team just like Paris Eternal, I can see this team easily coming swinging and be better than what we think they are. But number 10 is going to be Leonard Spitfire, obviously promoted everyone from British Hurricane, at least a few players, not all of them. Yeah, Blase coming in from the Houston Outlaws. He's the only flex DPS player on this team, so he's got to prove himself this year. Ripa, he was in the Los Angeles Gladiator Season 2, only played a couple maps. Kellex, he's been here since Season 1 in Boston Uprising, and then Toronto Defiance. Back on London Spitfire. Hottie, Molfig, fantastic tank duo. I think they're going to do really well on this team. And you have Hybrid, Shax, and Sparker, all hit scan DPS players. I think the main will probably be Shax. Shax has proven himself time and time again on the LA Valiant when he has played for like the Tracer, the Reaper, all heroes when it comes to hit scan. Hybrid, he was all right on Team Doge, but when you look at the other hit scan DPS players here, I think he probably will be the worst. Sparker, he's underage, but he'll be playing sometime in June. Then the coaching staff, Commander X, Fisher, and Reprise, they're honestly all really good coaches. Fisher, who coached his team back on British Hurricane. Reprise was on LA Valiant. He did his own thing there. He was a fantastic coach, I feel like. And Commander X, who brings in a lot of good results. Then on to number 9. This one really hurts to put him here. A lot of hurting making this Western Power Rankings. But number 9 is going to be the Toronto Defiance. I want this team to do good, but I don't know if it's going to happen. KDG is a fantastic head coach, may I say. He did a great job in Philadelphia Fusion last year, and I think he's going to be fantastic on this year for the Toronto Defiant. Just you have Logix and Beast there. It's going to be weird to see how they're going to integrate them on the roster. I've heard Logix may actually get playtime. Beast, I have a hard time seeing you get any playtime. Then you have players like Aztec, who is a fantastic flex sport player, but he's also battling with that spot with Flash Show when it comes to the starting. But there is double flex support meta where they could start with each other. On Sunjae, he's more of a solid main support player. I've never been super impressed by this guy in Contenders, so I don't know if he's going to be insane. Sato, Michelle, I think they're going to be a solid tank duo. Sato was top tier in Philadelphia Fusion. I hope that comes in this year for the Toronto Defiant. I think it will. Then you have Michelle, who hasn't played since Season 2 on the Seoul Dynasty, so it's been a hot minute since we've seen Michelle play consistently at least. Then you have Hisu and Nice. Gonna be some interesting stuff here with these guys. Nice, he was very flexible. He's a very flexible DPS player. I feel like we just haven't seen him prove himself these past couple of years for a while now. Then you have Hisu, who really proved himself last year on the Philadelphia Fusion. So I think this guy actually has a lot of potential on this team working with these players. Now to number 8. This is a team that is getting thrown around being actually not that bad in Scrimbucks, but who knows? Scrims are scrims. Time and time again, it's been up and down. I want this team to do good, though. So I was very happy seeing those power rankings from other people who had the Scrimbucks. But I'm putting them here now. Number 8 is the Houston Outlaws. It's kind of higher than I thought I would have them, but number 8 is Houston Outlaws. They still have a fantastic DPS duo, and which is the reason I think this team's probably top tier right now, which is Dante and Happy. These guys are just top tier. Happy's a fantastic scan player. Dante, fantastic flex DPS player. You have a fantastic, I feel like a fantastic or solid support duo, which is Crimzo and Juby. Juby, I feel like, is a solid main support. People are doubting this guy. I doubted him at the start, but time and time again, I've grown on this guy. I think he's going to be top tier. Not top main sports in the league, but I think he's going to be in the middle of the pack. Crimzo has been fantastic on the Dallas Fuel. I think he'll be fantastic this year on the Houston Outlaws. And then you have Piggy and Jongu. I think Jongu, will be solid, but I'm still interested to see how Piggy's going to perform. From just watching his Zarya was good, but when it came to anything else, was not impressed with Piggy. So that's where I'm more interested to see what the tank duo will play out, but everyone else on this team is good. Dante Happy, fantastic. Crimzo Juby, fantastic. Now Piggy and Jongu. Now another big reason why this team's probably going to do good is the coaching staff. Harsha, Junkbuck, Jake, they're all fantastic coaches. I feel like Jake has proved himself when he came to stream, and just watching the streams all around, he's very educational. So I think when he comes to the Houston Outlaws, he's going to do a great job. And Junkbuck, Harsha, they're just fantastic. Harsha obviously had a hard time last year in the Houston Outlaws, but Harsha has worked with Junkbuck in the past, and I think they're going to do a fantastic job on this team. Now to number 7. This is another team that's been put to top 5 area on Scrimbuck's power rankings. It is the Atlanta Reign, but I have them at number 7 because I don't know just yet. I don't have the information. Keep this in mind, I do not have the information. I do not have that. But I think a big reason why this team's doing good right now is the obvious, which is Kai and Pelican. KSP and Pelican, if you didn't know, he changed his name, which is Kai. Fantastic DPS duo here, where Kai has proved himself all of last year being a top hits game player and didn't even get a reward for it. This man didn't get any awards. This guy's nutty. He's crazy of a hits game player. Playing beside Pelican on this team, gonna be crazy. Pelican was one of the best flex DPS players of all contenders on O2. Then you have the tank duo, still the same, but I guess the team believes in them, which is Gator and Hawk. They were solid top tier in contenders, but last year they were very underwhelming. But if the rumors are right about this year, I'm very excited to see how Gator and Hawk are gonna play out. Then you have Masa, who has been up and down, but all around he's been a solid main sport player for this team. And also Iris. He's basically going to be a rookie this year, I feel like. Even though he did play last year, I think Iris is going to be more of a rookie this year. Even though he's not technically a rookie, I think Iris is going to be fantastic. I've seen his streams. I've seen him playing contenders. This guy is a bloodthirsty flex sport player. Very excited to see what he does. Then onto the coaching, you have Sephi, Legit RC, and the newest coach has been added to this team, which I think is fantastic, which is Hunter, who was previously on the LA Valiant. So I'm very excited to see what the coaching staff can do this year for the team. Then on to number 6. It is going to be the Boston Uprising. I am a Boston Uprising believer this year. I think they're going to be good. With the head coach of Lori coming in, changing everything with what he's worked with in the past with a core WGS Phoenix, you have faith. You have Valentine, I'm 37, and Lori in the back. Fantastic core, I feel like. Then you still have Myeonbong on this team. You have Color Hex, could be way better this year. Stan1, who worked on the Shanghai Dragons last year, and also Punk is still there, who I think was a alright, solid off-tank last year. But you're bringing in these players now. Faith, major upgrade over Halo last year. Going to work with Myeonbong, going to make Myeonbong look way better this year. Then you have Stan1 and Punk. I think they're going to be probably the weak points of this team, but still going to be pretty good. And Valentine and I'm 37, going to be, I feel like, a solid DPS duo for sure. Then onto the coaching staff. The only new coach here is Lori, the head coach. You still have Askoff and Baroy here, and Mineral is the manager. So I think this team all around, I'm a believer in this team. I think they're going to do good this year and be that dark horse like I predicted in my last video. I think they're going to be good. Then on to number 5. I didn't know where to rank this team. With them losing XC, it's very hard to predict where this team is going to be now. But number 5 is going to be the Dallas Fuel. They're now in a major L with no hit scan player, which is rough because XE was going to be fantastic, but health issues always come first. But they still have a top roster. We're Fearless and Hanbin. I think they're still going to be a top tank duo. You have Doha and Sparkle, which they could probably work out something without XE for a while, but it's not something you want long term. And you have the support players, which are Fielder, Repel, Jexa. The information we have right now is Jexa and Repel are going to be the starting support duo, which I personally do not like. But when you look at it the coach point of view, makes sense because Jexa and Repel all worked all year on the Houston Outlaws, and also I think Rush likes Repel a little bit more than Fielder, which hurts because Fielder is no longer dealing with ping. He's at the Dallasville facility, and I think he could be fantastic on this team. But then again, I'm not there. I don't have the information. I'm not watching Fielder all the time. He could be worse. But another positive is that Repel and Fielder, double flex sport meta, that could happen as well. Then you look at the coaching staff, Rush, Young, Aid. Young stay there for another season. Rush is there as a head coach now. Aid was previously working with Rush on the Paris Eternal. Aid was kind of like the support coach on Paris Eternal, helped FD God, helped Fielder, all of that. Aid was a fantastic if that is the case. And Rush, who's been a fantastic head coach on the Paris Eternal, coming to the Dallas Fuel, is just going to be a challenge now on what they're going to do without XZ. I think they could pull something off, maybe like some Doomfist stuff, but anything can happen. Then on to number 4, it is going to be the Florida Mayhem. Now this team was also a very hard team to put up and down because OG being there, flipping a coin, basically. This guy is very inconsistent. This could be a good year for him. I have seen Florida Mayhem on some people's power rankings really lower than usual because of Scrimbucks. I have a feeling it's because of OG, but I don't know this yet. One man can't ruin the whole team, but OG is there. You have Slime, who was a fantastic addition. Checkmate, who's there just in case, I feel like, for Yaki. Gangnam Jin, Gargoyle, BQB. Basically the same roster last year, just OG's here now in replacement for Fate, and also Slime, replacement for Chris. I think it's a fantastic roster. I think this team's going to do really well. You still have Kuki as the head coach. He has proved himself time and time again. So I think this team's still going to be top tier. Then on to number 3, it is going to be the Washington Justice. This team is going to be crazy in a couple of days. The Washington Justice is going to be crazy. You have Decay. You have Mag. You have Fury. Assassin. Closer, who has looked good in the open scrim. Bebe, who could be solid. Like, this team is looking good. They still have the head coach from last year, which is Supreme, which I guess he proved himself at the end of last year. And I hope he proves himself around this time and shows that he is a good head coach. You still have the other coaches here that can do a fantastic job on this team. But when you look at this roster still, this team is going to be crazy. Mag and Fury. That's a tank duo. Decay and Assassin. That's going to be a crazy DPS duo. And then you have Closer and Bebe, who they believe in. They think is going to be top tier, and I believe them. I think it's going to do well. Closer has already proved himself. I feel like Bebe was solid, but give him more time, I could see Bebe doing a great turnaround to being top tier. So Washington Justice is going to be crazy. Then on to number 2, very obvious, the Los Angeles Gladiators. This team made a lot of upgrades, mainly with Moth and Shu, I feel like. This was a support duo they needed. You know, taking a Big Elf, Big Goose, and Shaz, working that team since season 1, released them, retired, all of that. They needed something new. They needed a new support duo, and that was Moth and Shu. Moth, who was a back-to-back champion on the Shock, the best main support player, hands down. Fantastic shot caller coming into this team. Shu, one of the best, aggressive as well, flag sports in the league on his Zen, Bap, Ana. Gonna work with this team really well. You have Muse here, who's a fantastic main tank. Next to like Mag, where the hype of main tanks are coming into this season. Space always has been a top off tank, I feel like, for years back in season 1. Super consistent of a off tank player. Yeah, Birdring still. Yeah, Mirror, Kevster, who's proved himself time and time again last year. Birdring really proved that he was a consistent hits game player last year. Mirror, who's a very flexible DPS player. And Skewed, who was there kind of for double flex support and also for any brig metas happen. And then onto the coaching staff, you have D-Pay, Face, and Ty Dolla. Ty Dolla comes in from the charge. Face has been working this team for a while now, and D-Pay, which if D-Pay, I say it this time, if D-Pay does not perform this year, if LA Gladiators does not get maybe a new result, let's say top 3, they don't get top 3, maybe top 5, this could be D-Pay's last year, but then again, who knows? I think this team's going to dominate in this upcoming year. Then on to number 1. San Francisco Shock. What's new? This team is still good. They still have the same pieces. They lost Moth. They got FD God now. They have Narrow, replacement for Rascal. They have Glister, replacement for Aunts. What's there not to like of this team? This team's still top tier. They still have a fantastic coaching staff, which is Krusty, Agape, and Soras, which Soras proved himself on the Alien Terrain back in Season 2. You have Agape, who has had some up and downs, you know, in his Overwatch League career, but I think him on the Shock is really going to be good for him. Under Krusty, what it's like the coach of this team, and Krusty, who is just there. He is a back-to-back champion, the best coach in the game right now, the best head coach to stay in the game right now when it comes to the Overwatch League. This team's crazy. What is there to say? You heard it from everyone. You want to hear the same thing from me? It's a crazy team. It's good. You still have Smurf. You have Choi. You have Super, Violet, Striker, Twilight, Tayo's there. FD God, Narrow, Glister. This team's good. I think they're going to win again, which sucks. It sucks. But they may win again. I want to see a new team win. I want to see Justice or Gladiators take the W this year. But look at this team. Look at the team. It's good. It's still top. What is there to say? It's just a good team. It's just, what is there to say? It's still good. But anyways, that's going to be for me, boys. That's my power rankings. I know a lot of people are going to hate it because That's really it. A lot of people, yeah, it's just people are gonna hate it. People, yeah, yeah.